Happy motherfucking Tuesday. Motherfucking Mars Day and shit. That might have been a little too overly. Yeah, I don't give a fuck, nigga. It's supposed to be. That's pretty much the Stellium right there. Just that little, a little short burst, right? Because all right. Before I go into, before I go starting this video and shit. West Dakota winning every single time. I don't know how to motherfucker lose. Transmute L's and the W's. You bitch. I know this is kind of a spontaneous live. I usually ain't been live in the past due to life circumstances and shit like that. No excuses, but nigga was, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers was experiencing real shit. Pretty much this Gemini stellium with the sun. Mercury just slid in there. Ain't fully into Mercury yet. It's like 2 degrees or whatever. But yeah, Mercury, goddamn Venus, and goddamn Jupiter. So it was already airheaded. It just got more airheaded with Mercury sliding in there. So everybody gonna be airheaded, real airheaded and shit. Everybody want to talk. Everybody want to talk. A lot of lips, a lot of lips finna be flapping, or a lot of thinking, a lot of mind chatter. Whether it ain't nothing vocally being expressed, it's gonna be a lot of people talking. A lot of shit staying in their head. So make sure make sure you got a healthy release system at this time. It's very important that you got some way to communicate, express, push these ideas out, because the influences most likely you probably gonna want to. Otherwise, you're just gonna have a bunch of pent up internal, and pent up mind chatter, all kind of self convert. Yeah, you don't want to be like, you don't want to get lost in that with yourself, like for this transit. So let me roll a blunt though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm just kind of starting my day out here. I'm currently in motherfucking. I'm on the road. I ain't got like a central home at the moment, so I done made this my home. It's a long story today. I could really talk about the whole goddamn what led up to this point, but I feel like that would be for another video, some other point. I'm gonna go into these alignments. I want to roll a blunt, smoke real quick. So let me get about that. Go about that right real quick. Yeah, that's a good spot for it. For the phonage. Orientation is locked. Rotate the bike back. I don't give a fuck. Orientation is locked. Do I look Chinese? Do I look Oriental? Alright, can I put this so it can kind of like stay in position? I'm charging my phone too at the same time, so. But yeah, Sun in Gemini. It's already been, we already started Gemini season. I'm a Sun and Moon, Cancer Sun and Moon with a Gemini ascendant. So, how I appear to be, or how I might come across, is in a Gemini way. You know what I'm saying? So, people's first kind of glance or first thoughts about me probably is like, all right, this nigga is kind of airy, like kind of weird, maybe even. Because it's mutable air, so the wind like blows. It's never just fixated like Aquarius. As far as in this context, Gemini is like mutable air. Aquarius is like a fixed air, some type of cloud or a gas chamber. Like, yeah, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Libra is like the thought, that propels Aries. You know what I'm saying? Well, the fire. I'm not gonna start combining shit. Libra is like a gun, like a gunshot, but the air. You know what I'm saying? The air part of it, like not without the fire, without the spark and the actual like bang. They're the propulsion, like the you know what I mean? The trajectory. That's Libra, pretty much. Like a gun. They like a gunshot without the bullet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'll click, but you still feel like you got hit, even if there's no bullet in there. Taurus, even though there's no bullet, even though there's no other side of Venus, the actual material. You know what I'm saying? Even if there's no material bullet, that Libra is still gonna use that Venus and like hit your ass like Cupid or something. Like hit your ass with an invisible arrow. You gonna be like, huh? How did this occur? But yeah, it's gonna be real talkative and shit. Real talkative and shit. You know what I'm saying? Real talkative and shit. I might display an example of this currently at the moment. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yes, I'm on YouTube Live. Would you like to say anything to YouTube Live? No. She didn't want to. She didn't want to say nothing. She didn't want to say nothing. I was at least giving her the. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be able to say something over here. Good thing she said no. But I be trying to see where people mind. I be trying to see where people mind be at. First of all, so I genuinely was trying to give her maybe. You know what I'm saying? She might have had something to say that I could have. You know what I'm saying? She might have had some useful shit. She might have had some experiences to talk about, or that's another part of this energy. Yeah, a lot of people gonna be talking about the experiences that they've been through, whatever kind of wisdom they might have gained. Talking about moral systems, talking about what works, what don't work. Jupiter don't really like it's like at work in Gemini because it rules like Sag and shit, the ninth house and shit. So it's really opposing. It's like it's a way. So goddamn, what you normally would just kind of act on as far as going into an experience. Oh yeah, oh shit. We also got the Chiron shit too. But as far as just like what you normally would act on, you might think now before you go into an experience. So that's like a downside of this alignment. I don't want to say it's not really a bad or a good or a bad or a downside or an upside, but I'm just making a point. Like it might be for lack of a word, a detriment to have this kind of energy right now. As far as there might be certain things you need to experience. There's certain new things you need to go about, but you might think about it at this time. You might think too hard or overanalyze some shit before just having the experience. You know. Like me right now, I took a couple notes before going live and shit. Maybe I should have just went live without the note taking. You know what I'm saying? But there's it's all about equalizing how you finna adjust your 1-2 to the as above, as below, the current seasonal transition of this water cycle, sun, star, pretty much an event, because it ain't traveling. We ain't we spinning to the left, or so ain't really nothing moving. Ain't really nobody moving. We're just spinning around in a circle like a vinyl record. You know what I'm saying? Like a turntable. You got one turntable and then the other turn. You know what I'm saying? The other turntable record. And that's kind of like what we could call our whole experience, like one record interacting with another record on the turntable, and then that fusion and friction interaction, and the DJ, aka God, you know what I'm saying, doing turntable magic and shit. Then we get a goddamn, you know what I'm saying, what we calling a goddamn a Tuesday. But ain't nothing more than just certain like properties or elements or certain things just already in a current, like already at lighter stages, you can't see this shit. You got to have the organs to see that shit. So we're still having a human experience. So I'm gonna say I'm not I'm not even really human like that, but I'm having this human experience. So people in general here, this humanity shit, the human experience, you only have the body that you have. Like you only have the perception, the senses, the organs and shit. You are who you are because of where you came from. So you already probably were already bugs, plants, animals, air particles, water particles, you name it, right? So now you here at the human stage, you could see everything that's like kind of up under you, you know what I'm saying? Because you're able to like kind of, for the lack of like kind of look down at it or look down upon it. So you're able to see that. But what's ahead of you, what's in front of you, I get is always some kind of like some unknown kind of territory to some degree, where you know where you're going, but it's like sometimes you got to have a not blind faith, but you got to have some type of faith beyond what's in front of you with your logical senses. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes it's about tapping in to these other areas or these other properties you got. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a bunch of houses, a bunch of properties and shit. So it's all about just tapping into certain aspects or areas of yourself first. Then that'll give you new unexplored pretty much space to go about an experience. It's gonna be brand new because ain't nobody there other than you. Nobody there other than you. So you got all kind of shit just untapped, ready to go. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good for the good and for the bad. So let me roll a blunt, bro. Get back on track. So that's pretty much what I was just doing, just the alignment. You know, we expanding upon some type of information. We trying to learn some shit. We thinking about communicating some shit. We valuing our way of communicating or how we communicate or how we relate ideas or what we pay attention to as far as information and how we go about certain processes, whether the creative process, whether that's how you finna relate you know what I'm saying, yo creativeness or your ability to think and have a mind, your ability to put concepts together. Because sometimes it's not. Sometimes when we start talking about Mercury and Gemini energies, or even Virgo, just the Mercurian energy, a lot of times it's not even about necessarily like talking. That's a part of it, but for sure another aspect maybe people might miss is, unless you know a Gemini, you know what I'm saying? If you know a Gemini, then you gonna probably relate to this. A lot of times it's about, all right, Gemini the is about the mind, you could say. So in a lot of ways it's really about mental processes and formulas and how you construct certain thoughts and ideas and how you finna how you put certain things together to make sense, because it's before or it's after Taurus, right? And Taurus rules like this space, but it's before Taurus is Aries, which is the head space. So it's like this whole 1 2, like the first spring 1 2 3 is like that 90-degree angle, that 90 degrees. That's the head, eyes, senses, Taurus, temple, you know, and then Mercury would be like the almost like the wiring or the actual air space kind of, you know what I'm saying, your mind, some shit that it ain't really physical like Taurus, tangible. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you got this 1 2, because sex is the joining of two energies to make a, you know, to make a new one, or multiple energies to make a new one. So 1 + 1 really equals 3. Father, mother, They join. What do they produce? A third, a child, right? So that three is like that's your first that's your first mind. That's like your first awareness. That's your your son. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the begotten son, or like, you know what I mean, your son of God and daughters of man and shit, whatever the fuck, that type of shit. Like, I know I'm kind of a little. That's another thing too. Right now, a lot of so the scattered energy just went. You know what I'm saying? Just like took off, went through the roof or whatever. More scattered energy at this time with this Gemini stellium between the Sun, the Venus, Mercury, Jupiter. We might be expanding into more mental confusion or mental confliction, as far as that kind of like that Sodom and Gomorrah dual kind of nature, where you kind of in between, because it's mutable air. So the what makes it Gemini season is we're going from Taurus season, the fixed portion of spring, and then we finna go into summertime and initiate a new way of emotionally connecting or feeling Cancer, cardinal water. So we in that space right now between cardinal Cancer time and Taurus, right? So it might be like people are like don't know how to feel. They don't know whether they need to communicate some feelings or keep they shit to themselves at this time. We're probably thinking more about our finances and money and shit, because Mercury just was in Taurus for a cool minute. Now it's getting out of Taurus, just went into Gemini. So we're still gonna be thinking about our money, practicality, stability, safety, shelter, maternal natures and shit. How we take care of business, and how we hold down the fort energies. So, um, yeah, I know that kind of got a little scattered all over the place, but I'm gonna just go into this next segue point with the stellium. Right now, we got a sextile with fucking Mars and Aries, so it's gonna be an opportunity to goddamn relate, communicate, trying to exchange information about. Okay, a opportunity to communicate and talk about what you passionately into, or passionately, I mean, talking about what you passionately into, or talking about your own desires and shit, or what the what you be thinking about, your own individual desires and motivations and intentions and willpowers. And so right now we're gonna have the opportunity to communicate some shit, think about it. We might try to relate our desires, our, you know what I'm saying, what we passionate about. So say you into you got a gift or a talent right now that you passionate about. You know what I'm saying? Let's just use motherfucking music as an example. Right now is a good time to make that song. You know what I'm saying? If you in the correct corresponding energies. Now on the lower octave, you might express a bunch of like too fiery. It's almost like with the area with the Mars and shit. It might be you might communicate some shit that isolates you from maybe everybody else, or from your surroundings. Three, as far as that Gemini shit. So you might communicate some shit that isolates or puts you in an isolating arena or space, because maybe what you said was too spicy. It might have been too self-centered. It might have been too about your own desires and intentions and motivations and willpower. You may not have been communicating enough about what somebody else is into. So right now there's gonna be this kind of back and forth tug of war kind of match, as far as people and conversations, and who's I don't hate for the lack of words, who's like dominating the conversation, or who's more of the spiritual adult in the conversation, or who's outweighing who in the conversation, or who's got more leverage or more say so, or People are just gonna be fighting to get they point across, to get what they trying to talk about out. You know what I'm saying? So that might create a lot of delusion. You know what I'm saying? We also got I'm not trying to bounce around too much because I know there's other alignments and shit, but I just kind of wanted to hone in specifically on the Gemini shit and Mars, and then we also got Chiron too. So we might have this desire to communicate some shit, but then we might stop ourselves because of Chiron and Aries. So we might hold ourselves back at this time. There might be something you actually need to say to somebody that might be able to alleviate any future problems and shit like that if you were to just say something now. But you might hold your tongue. You might bite your tongue and not say what is on your mind. So right now, this is a time of mental fogginess or clarity, depending on what side of the spectrum you're on. A lot of clarity or a lot of confusion or fogginess or a lot of airhead. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like real airheaded. So try not to get so caught up in your head space or what you think. You know what I'm saying? What you think. Emphasis on the think. Yeah, I ain't think. Yeah, this is a good time for like people that live somewhere in a think tank and work for, you know what I'm saying, like a Nickelodeon think tank, or Orlando Studios or Universal. These niggas right now is gonna come up. They're gonna have some good ideas right now how to be flown for you know what I'm saying, whatever movie, whatever they trying to present out into the world. They gonna have some good ideas right now how to be fucking retarded. How to be retarded and flown. Not really make sense. Head in the clouds energy. So just watch out for that too. Make sure you kind of down to earth. Bring yourself down to earth. And you could do that by acting on whatever it is you passionately into, your desires and shit, what you motivated by, what you trying to be goddamn. I don't want to say what you trying to be. Well, yeah, what you trying to be known for, but what you goddamn are willing to goddamn I guess, yeah, also, yeah, with the Venus too, communicating about our love language and shit. So try not to compromise just for the sake of talking. Yeah, don't compromise too much just for the sake of talking. Somebody might they might just slip up and say some shit in a conversation just being too agreeable. You know what I'm saying? Just being too agreeable. You might agree to some shit and months go by from now, the energy's over with and shit. Somebody agreed. You might have agreed to like watch your neighbor's dog or something, right? While the neighbor goes on like summer vacation or something. You might have been like, oh yeah, I don't mind watching a little taco. I don't mind watching a little taco. You need me to bring some water over and some food for him? Shit like that, right? And goddamn neighbor's like, oh, I'm just gonna be gone for a couple months, from June to July. I'm going to see my family in Idaho, and we're gonna have barbecues. It was like one of them. You're like, okay, all right, you'll have a fun. Soon as summer approaches, here you go trying to babysit Taco next door for the first couple weeks. Everything might have went all right, cool. Now all of a sudden, Taco went missing or something. You know what I'm saying? Now you trying to figure out where Taco's at and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now you trying to figure out where Taco's at. You don't even want to call. You don't even want to call your neighbor, and you don't even want to like tell her no bad news. So she already in Idaho and shit at her family's and shit. You don't want her like having to come back and shit. Like as far as your reliability with your neighbor, your little 1-2 with the neighbor, like you don't want to. You ain't trying to like put no extra like you don't want to like ruin that for the like to say. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to like make that worse, that relationship. So you might have agreed to some shit, and then you realize you had plans or something. Like, fuck, I gotta go do this right now, but I'm supposed to feed Taco. Or I'm supposed to make sure Taco's cool. I can't just leave Taco in the, in the backyard or some shit. So it's like shit like that. Just make sure you don't agree to some shit right now that might have been some shit you didn't need to agree to at this time. You know what I'm saying? Like too quick of a thought. You just agreed to it. So yeah, let me roll up. Roll up. I 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 roll up. It's only just a dream. But yeah, passionate conversations at this time. Make sure you don't get into like a heated ass conversation with the homies or with whoever. You know what I'm saying? And fuck around and say some shit you didn't really mean, or there's gonna be a lot of that going on. A lot of niggas just expressing frustration just because they may not have got some shit off of their chest in the past few months. So there's gonna be a lot of that too. A lot of pent up air, stale air, previous air that never got pushed out or communicated. That's finna be expressed. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna expand upon that and learn whether that was morally correct or not for their own spiritual path and their own goddamn their own travels and internal for their internal travels and shit like that. So it's gonna be a whole lot of just talking. Motherfuckers is just talking. So I'm not trying to just be a motherfucker that's just talking. I figured I might as well talk about something that's actually gonna be useful. So, or at least I'll get my two on it. You know what I'm saying? I'll at least put my stance on it. You know what I'm saying? So yay, I gotta roll up. You know what I'm saying? Moon and Taurus. So we got a conjunct as far as trying to make some type of understanding out of what is being said and whether it makes sense or not. You know what I'm saying? Trying to ground, stabilize what we talking about. It's a lot of shit. Motherfucking Saturn and Pisces. So yeah, we got the square too with the stellium. So that's gonna square as far as the sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. Gemini energies. That's gonna square our reality right now at this time. Mutable Pisces. So we're gonna be trying to we're gonna experience frustration, friction, or some type of learning experience when it comes to communicating our dreams and trying to relate these ideas, what we might be analyzing as far as information, we're trying to correlate that, how we see ourselves, how we love ourselves, and how we think about those type of qualities, our relate, you know what I'm saying, our relatability qualities and shit, Gemini. So we're gonna be like looking at our ability to communicate effectively or not, think effectively, uh, whether we could relate our values and relate our love language and shit like that. Um, how good are we at relating our moral system, our travels, our experiences and shit like that, making it relatable, making it so we ain't just like talking at the air. You want to kind of be able to be relatable to whoever it is. You ain't gonna be able to relate to everybody, but you want to be somewhat relatable, at least to yourself, so you know what the fuck, how you interacting with yourself at least. So pretty much that's the square between our what we paying attention to, what we thinking about, how we love, or our values, And then our experiences or our morals or our ability to travel internal or external. Jupiter, right? And then all that is squaring. So we're trying to figure out how to blend those qualities with our dreams, our imaginations, our faiths, beliefs, our ability to relate emotions and feelings, Pisces, our creativity, our subconscious realm, shit you can't see, the far out, the unknown. So it's like Mercury, Gemini don't really fuck with that period because Gemini is all about like thinking about some shit and analyzing some shit. It's more of a logical energy, right? So with that Pisces side of it, that's more like the intuitive, the yin realm aspect of Jupiter. So Jupiter is like thinking real hard right now about some shit in the subconscious realm that can't even really be seen or thought about. So Jupiter is trying to figure out how to, like, how do I express these ideas and shit? You know what I'm saying? I normally just act on some shit or go about travel. I don't really sit around and think and try to put it into words or some type of shape or form that others can relate to. I usually just go about the shit and then I kind of extract whatever it is I needed to learn after the fact. So Jupiter being in a position where it has to think and analyze and like, you know what I'm saying? I got my gut. Look at me. I'm over here with my journal and shit out, trying to roll a blunt. Like, what the fuck? Being caught in between worlds and shit. Like, that's a lot of this energy too. Just being like, you don't know where you coming or going. Yeah, you don't know which way you're going or am I here? Am I there? So it's kind of like what everybody's going through to some degree. Pretty much, humanity's finished. I'm not a human. I could actually say that because I didn't gave up everything that people are still clinging on to. I didn't gave that shit up, or it was taken away from me, or I put myself in a situation for it to be taken. Either way, I created the circumstance where I had to let some shit go, and if I didn't, I'd still be holding on to that shit, and it could be blocking me or keeping me stuck or in the past in some kind of aspect. So this is a quick video and shit. I'm gonna make more attempts going forward and be more consistent. So I ain't just trying to say that like talk bullshit. No, I really mean that. Like I know I'm kind of inconsistent when it comes to this internet shit or just in general in life. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out how to do shit on my own with no previous examples or no previous guidance. Like my dad was barely around. I never could rely on that person for any type of guidance. My mom's, she was always working. That's a female, so that only goes so far. When you got when you a female trying to raise your man, masculine son, child. So I had to really figure out some shit as far as my whole life since I was burned since I was burned. And how St. Louis might say since I was burned, or Memphis, how Memphis are like in the South, they might say burned since I was burned. Not born, you ain't burned, since you was burned. So, you know, it is what it is type shit. You gotta walk before you gotta crawl before you walk. Why did they say you gotta walk before you crawl? You can't walk before you crawl. So it's all about like, see, that's where Jupiter don't really do well, like taking the proper science. Like it's like it's in a scientific energy. Like Geminis are very scientific. If y'all don't know, if like y'all didn't know any better, Geminis are like stupid smart. Like y'all don't understand. A lot of people don't understand. Geminis are highly intelligent people. Now, where they may get in trouble is if they're in the lower octave, they might use their intelligence for, some lower animalistic desire, some petty type of shit. But Geminis are very intelligent. They are ruled by the mind. So if anybody's closest to the mind, it's like an Aquarius or a Gemini. See how y'all Aquarius is just kind of somehow get caught up in y'all just pop up. Geminis are very intelligent. Even if you think they are dumb, they probably thinking that about you. You might be looking at a Gemini dumb. They might just be showing you that face because they know how to play faces. They know how to play different roles and shit. So you might think a Gemini is dumb when you know what I'm saying, interacting with them, whatever. Little do you know that Gemini is probably playing dumb, or they just so relatable. They know how to kind of blend in with you know what I'm saying. They know how to blend in with environments and shit. The surrounding. So shit, you let a Gemini tell the story. Shit, they was you know what I'm saying. They wasn't even there at the house when so and so got killed or got murdered. Yeah, like you don't let the Gemini tell the story. You won't know what the fuck was true or not. You won't know what the fuck was true or not. You better listen to somebody else. But don't discredit. Don't ever like underestimate a Gemini. Really, you shouldn't underestimate anybody, but don't underestimate no Gemini. Geminis are like, if Geminis were like a comic book type of character, they would be the villain. Like they're the super villain. You think, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't even know it, too. Sometimes it'd be the movie and the shit, the super villain, they'd be like the coolest niggas. They just cool as fuck. And then it'd be like them little subtle, you know what I'm saying? In between moments before the scene changes where they like, you know what I'm saying? You might catch it all cool or something. Yeah. And here goes the Gemini. As the scenes, you know what I'm saying? As the scene's changing. And it goes on to the next scene, right? But they might be like, oh yeah. And then that's where the two-faced energies really come from, because people, not the Gemini being two-faced, no, it's they already in a certain thought process. So if you don't catch that, or if you're not aware of that, it's almost kind of like, oh, because they just peeping some shit. A Gemini will just peep some shit and then kind of like let you set yourself up. It's like it's some tricky, it's some tricksters, bro. That's why they rule by goddamn Mercury. And Mercury, you know what I'm saying? Mercury's a smart little bastard child. That little nigga is very intelligent. He just be like, he's just a kid. He got all this intelligence, but be with a kid that's still curious and still developing with all the little kid energies and stuff. So. Good. This ain't no what you think it is, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? What you think it is, YouTube. Good. Good incense stick from the from the Indian shop, the Durkas. You know what I'm saying? Real Durka Indians and shit. Yeah, Indian incense. The little the Nag Champa. It's that Nag Champa stick. It's like a new version of Nag Champa. Yeah, it's like the new, one of the new. They didn't like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't like market it live yet. But you go into the smoke shop or something, they got like these new Nag Champa. They burn, they light as you go, burn incense sticks. Yeah, good knock chomper. Yeah, good knock chomper instant stick. You know what I'm saying? Keep your goddamn your house or your car or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Good instant fragrances and good incense, good odors and shit. You know what I'm saying? Good smells, good odors, good godly. You know what I'm saying? Good godly scents and shit. Good scents. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not, it ain't more. It really ain't. It ain't much more to it. It really ain't much more to it. It really ain't much more to it. Really ain't much more to it. It really ain't much more than that. But yeah, you know, we might want to be higher octave. Good time to talk about spirituality. Good, you know what I'm saying? Good stuff like that. Lower octave, you trying to start a war. You know what I'm saying? We can see that on the news. This is gonna be high time for the news to be just spewing out all kind of dumbass information and all kind of stupid ass rhetoric information and shit that can distract niggas. Have niggas all caught in the Agent Smith head goddamn morphine. You know what I'm saying? You might do one of those during this transit just because the fucking government pushing out shit that they know is like they just gonna be putting out all kind of information, bro. Just a flood. It's about to be a flood of information. If it already has been, but about even more of it. So don't just be out here paying attention. Don't just be paying attention to everything. Don't just be watching and listening to everybody or just listening to anything. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Wash your hands. You get what I'm saying? Wash your hands. That's important. We already know that, but this is a good time. Wash your hands. Make sure you wash your hands. Keep some baby wipes or something. You know what I'm saying? Keep some baby wipes. Whatever the fuck you need to stay clean in these dirty ass esoteric streets. Don't get caught up in the bullshit. Don't get caught up in the bullshit. But yeah, I'm finna get up out of here. Just a quick little video type shit. I might keep going in on these alignments though. Real quick, hold on. Oh yeah, Neptune too. Not just Pisces, not just the Saturn in Pisces, but also squaring Neptune in Pisces. So Neptune on the cut on the end, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of getting the Aries cusp of that energy, which kind of adds to all this, the sextile and whatnot. But as far as Neptune squaring this Gemini stellium in the Saturn, so it's like again we're gonna be communicating our dreams and shit, our dreams, creativity, imaginations. You know what I'm saying? La la land energies for the higher octave or for the lower octave. La la land energies, delusion, flaunt, being in some false dream, you know what I mean? Being in some false imagination, some shit that ain't really you. You might be trying to communicate some shit that nobody gives a fuck about as far as they dreams or you know what I'm saying? Like everybody got different dreams and shit. So we trying to communicate and figure out right now we trying to learn like am I communicating the right am I talking about the right shit that's adding to my dreams or is trying to help my dreams or does that correlate with my dreams in some way, shape, or form? Or I've been talking about delusions and shit like nonsense and shit that don't make sense and like shit that might only be in my own subconscious realm, in my own world and shit. So it might make sense to me, make all the you know what I'm saying? All the imagination, creativity. You might think it's the most creative shit. Everybody else looking at you like you in a delusion. It's deep. Some deep shit going on. Or this is how you looking at other people, right? I'm seeing all these niggas in Starbucks and shit, bro. Still, you know what I'm saying? Type shit. I just grabbed me a goddamn Starbucks out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Yankee shit. Like, I know what Yankee means. People just talking. I don't want to. I'm not trying to get caught up in some talking. Just talking to anybody, just to talk to somebody. Nah, don't do that either. Too. If you just trying to talk to somebody, just to talk to some. If you don't take your ass somewhere and get familiar with yourself, get to know thyself. You know what I'm saying? Don't be in no desperate, needy energy. That's not cool either. There's gonna be people doing that too, like just trying to talk, just to connect, or just to goddamn get they like I said before, they get they fucking. Some people just want to dump on you. This is gonna be a time for dumpsters. You know what I'm saying? Don't let no dumpster have their way with you and treat you like a dumpster. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they the dumpster, so don't just let them dump and take a shit all on you like, and treat you like a toilet. Nah, don't be somebody else's toilet for constipation because they constipated. Yeah, nah, you know, say what you know what I'm saying, just enough. But you know, if you at work or something, a lot of y'all be at work and shit. You know, keep the conversation light at work. You know, with your coworker, this, that, and the third. But don't entertain no like if you go too far. You know what I'm saying. If you know you being at work, because I don't have jobs and shit. I know what that shit be like. So don't just be talking just to talk. You know what I'm saying? Especially at work, especially when money's involved and somebody else's business and company and shit. Don't be saying though. Don't just be communicating and just you know what I'm saying. People are not your friends. Them people are not your friends. They will talk about you behind your back and they're trying to set your ass up. Especially if you like more on the spiritual tip. They trying to set your ass up and create a scenario where you just be uncomfortable or want to quit yourself or they catch you slipping or spill the beans or you know what I'm saying just because you gave the bean you know what I'm saying you gave them too many beans. So don't give nobody too many beans right now that they could use against you later on or some shit like that type of energy. You gotta be real wise at this time. If you ain't wise, you gonna know it. You just gonna know it in whatever area because we all got because it's teamwork makes the dream work. So that's not no like arrogant shit. That's just everybody aware of what they aware of. So if more people could be aware of who they are, thyself, and know their role, they would stop. They would stop trying to be all these other roles and shit that the world have you trying to fulfill each second, minutes, hours out the day. But it'd be the Jews and shit, and they reaping all the intellectual property benefits and shit like that. The shadow government and the Masons and shit, the Jesuits. It's all they shit. So you just not knowing yourself, you might be scattered doing a bunch of you know what I mean here, there, here, jack of all trades kind of energy instead of just honing in on one specific space aspect or yourself and crafting that out and carving that out and being consistent. See, that's my challenge. I'm gonna keep it real. Like I know I could do a bunch of shit. Like really, I do everything. It's all possibilities. God did everything first. I'm not God, but I know I got a piece of God. All possibilities. So my piece is aware of the fact, like all possibilities. Like it could go down all possibilities. So I'm not just limited to oh this is just me. So therefore I created a new or I'm in the process of doing this. It's like an everyday thing, but mentally though, for sure, like I'm more aware of the fact, maybe than the average person, that there's It's all possibilities as far as the space. So why stay limited into one particular space at any given moment? So therefore, that gives your mind more of an open mindedness, a broader, you know what I'm saying, a broader goddamn spectrum to access and utilize. More goddamn opportunities, you can say, or just more access. However you, just more fluidness. However you want to phrase it, you get the concept though. You have more ability to navigate through whatever waters you currently in as a current. You know, that you're swimming, that your spirit is in, swimming around in a situation. You know what I'm saying? So you be in the bathtub. You know what I mean? Chilling, really. But then you also know, like, all right, I got X amount of time in the bathtub, and then I'm finna go hit the, you know what I'm saying, hit the esoteric Planet Fitness, and then I'm gonna be there for X amount of time, and then boom, then I'm gonna go, shit, I might go shoot a movie, you know what I'm saying, I might go shoot a music, a movie video or something right after that. Boom, so you just like, I'm just making points, like, that's what it's about, making points. You ain't just like one point. You started from a one, oh, you know what I'm saying, but that, with that whole one point idea, that whole shit is an illusion. It takes multiple spaces just for you to even be aware of yourself. It's deep. And then whoever was around you and your circumference, that's like your family familiarity. Them type of spaces that make up your space. So it's like, this shit is deep. Even what you think is your own individual awareness is not at all. Like, it's a collection. It's always a collection. It's always an accumulate. You know what I'm saying? It's always a. It takes more than. Yeah, it's not just one thing ever. That was never a concept ever. Like, that was just one thing and then two and three. No, it was all. It was like shit. It was multiple. You know what I'm saying? All possibilities. Like, I don't know how to explain that to people. That's how you can see how the world is limited. Because people like it be the world don't be in that fashion. Like the Jews, they tried their best to be God, but you can never be God. Like, you can't be all possibility. So this world, just the way it is, and the materials that I guess any human, you know what I'm saying. At some point, this is like shit any humans would have did. Start trying to build some safety, security, and shelter. You know what I'm saying? And I guess better ways of going about this animalistic experience, beastly natures and shit, so it don't have to be so heavy, so it don't have to be so beastly and animalistic, so you don't have to keep crawling on the ground. Now you learned how to at least get in a spaceship kind of concept, right? So now you moving quicker. At least you're not just like in that heavier shit, still a bear. Now, like, you go to the store and get honey. You're still doing bear shit, but like it's in a lighter stage. It's not the heavier versions of it, if that makes sense. So it's like we all just trying to get out of like older previous versions of ourselves, and our way of going about it is as creators. You constantly trying to create new thoughts and feelings, but keep the thoughts and feelings that like that you fuck with, that you agree with, and kind of tweak those, so those are always constantly staying fresh, you could say, not just, you know what I'm saying. And then whatever you maybe not so good at, you trying to improve in those areas or learn in those areas, or those are the areas where you actually need to experience more and put yourself more in those shoes and shit, so you can start fulfilling yourself more in those areas. You'll start to feel more whole or more complete. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people be afraid of themselves. They don't be wanting to go do certain shit, or they was taught and kind of indoctrinated since a kid to not think and feel a certain way, which is just somebody else's thoughts and feelings being imposed upon you, because everybody got their own different outlook of the world. So it's really just been a chain of the Jews and shit, and their thoughts and feelings ruling everybody. and people just accepting certain shit and religions and just different spin-offs of their shit, right? Their practices and shit. So anytime you like, you might have a opposing thought that kind of challenges they shit or whatever, and the whole, it's like the reality itself, like the air, the god, like it's like a golem they put in the air, like they god and shit. So this is some shit they've been upholding for some time. So it's like it's a force, you know. And it's like if you don't go along with the just agreeing to the terms and conditions because the force is like, because it's trying to force you. You know what I'm saying? It's like accept this shit, or you know what I'm saying, or you just, you don't belong, or you get non-existed it, or some weird shit like that. They're trying to play God. Like you're not God. And you don't got that kind of influence to just like get rid of people. Nobody does. Like nobody does. God, the only, all possibly that might be the only, but you ain't going nowhere. So that's kind of like our, how we feel even with like our little situation with God and shit, where we think we know better and shit because we now, this awareness that was given to us out of just being no thing now. So at first it was like you was non-existent, and then once you became aware of yourself, that's when you became aware of the fact that you didn't exist, but now you do exist. Subconscious, conscious, that little, you know, little 8 energy and shit. So you came from the 9, or really before that, like a 0 space, and then you got, you know, ninth dimension, birth. 987 is like the birth, bro. So that whole little process is like, you know what I'm saying? Nine, first you had to, you had to travel or do some kind of, just to be aware of yourself at all. Like that's some deep shit. That's beyond any human. Like this might be too deep right now for humanity, for just regular people. Yeah, I'm like, this is how I talk every day. And I watch Dolo the Pile Man, and there's other people that think like this. So I ain't the only one that could comprehend and grasp and go the distance in in certain areas and shit in life, just within yourself when you like have godly observation ability. So this is also how you know, yeah, like who's been here longer, more incarnation cycle. You know what I'm saying? Who's been here more incarnations and shit, based upon like your ability to comprehend and process certain shit. Be able to, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to receive and comprehend shit. If you don't even got if you didn't even have a certain kind of spiritual travels first to even create the certain state of being, to even come up with the certain thoughts and feelings, to even have as a sex 1 + 1 = 3, the joining of two energies or multiple energies to create something new. If you didn't even create the state of being for that sex to happen, and then to come up with that, whatever mind you come out of that joining of the multiple energies of that interaction, whatever mind, you know what I'm saying? If you don't even got the certain kind of mind that bended in on itself after that point, to even then start to becoming certain adrenaline, you know what I'm saying? Adrenaline, your blood cells, the blood, you know, in the blood itself, fleshly fluids, and you know, organs and shit. This is a process of your mind condensing, and you know, it's like a, you just you just keep doing some shit. So now here we are, boom, you got this like heavier version of yourself, literally. So you could see where your mind was at if you pay attention. You could literally, you'll know where what you was paying attention to based upon kind of neck you got, the structuring of your neck, your head, you know what I'm saying? Certain people, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't even got the certain brain components. We talk about Mercury and Gemini energies and shit right now. A lot of people don't even got the certain like wiring, even with Virgo. I know it's Gemini shit, but that's the nighttime of Mercury. Some Virgo shit, the nerves, and so Gemini's like the lungs, the arms. Certain people don't even know how to breathe like this. They're not even breathing like this. They don't even got the correct lungs, the corresponding lungs to even be in these kind of waters and swim to the depth. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you were to go in the ocean, there's people that want like that in the world that they go stay underwater for like 8 minutes and shit like that. They lungs be built and you know what I'm saying? Conditioned a certain way based upon the environment that they lived in. So we're always creating environments and atmospheres. Then that will play out as what type of world you finna have. But it starts with the environment first. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here as a human. You know what I'm saying? You'd be some other species. You'd be some whole other shit. That's why we could point to ants, birds, all these other animals, these other natures and shit, because these were literally different experiences we had. Not like, bruh, people will be just lost in all kind of fucking sauce. I've been on this shit for about an hour now. Finna damn near check out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the one viewer that popped up in here. You know what I'm saying? Whoever that was. Hey, I'm just gonna keep doing me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in life each day. The whole world is finished. The whole world, the old ways of doing shit is finished. So I literally gotta like meet new people. I gotta literally like, you know what I'm saying? But then it's like a lot of people, majority of the people in the world are finished and not even thinking or talking like this. So it's like there's a small percentage level of motherfuckers that actually think and talk like this, and then out of that percentage level, out of that group, like the Dolos and the Mooney Mercury or whoever the fucks in the Saint Unos, the Soul Group motherfuckers, we still trying to figure out how to like come together and shit. It's like some new shit going on, and we still trying to figure out like how to trust each other and how to cooperate and work with each other and what's working, what's not working, and all these new ins and outs and shit, internet, and if you're doing some shit in real life. So I guess I've been kind of procrastinating to some degree, you know what I'm saying, in my actual life up until this point, because I'm about to be 29 at the end of the month. So I gotta keep it, I gotta keep it a buck, you know. But it's all part of, it's all, I'm not regretting shit because I didn't for sure live some experiences, and now I got a more of a clear, broader idea of myself and what the fuck is going on. So everything is all relevant. Don't ever like beat yourself up for your situation or what might have occurred. But the point is like once you know better, you're supposed to do better. We always trying to grow and change and do something new, right? That's what I'm about. I'm a cardinal sign, so I've always been trying to initiate some new shit. And anytime I feel like there's a block there, opposition to Capricorn. Anytime there's like a block or a wall or some building or the earth shit, which is cool because you need containers and shit, but or even mental blocks, air, it can be whatever kind of blocks. Fire don't really block because fire burns through reality. So, well, Leo might play as like maybe a firewall at times. It's like a barrier. It don't really block you, but it could be like it could, you know what I'm saying? Fire, yeah, sometimes fire blocks because it might be a whole forest on fire. You can't. I need to go this way, but there's a whole fire here. I can't just like. I mean, shit, you can go through the fire. You don't gotta let that block you. You know what I'm saying? What if it's like a whole fire, whole room? You might be in a house, right? The house is on fire. Now you should have been out the house, but now you're trying to get out the house. The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire. I'm not even gonna go into that song, but the whole motherfucking house could be on motherfucking fire. You in that bitch sweating, cooking. Your skin is finna melt off of your goddamn genitals or genitalia area. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, your nipples is finna sweat the fuck off. You finna melt. You know what I'm saying? The house is on fire, right? If you got any tattoos, they melting off your skin at this point. So you trying to get through the fire. Like goddamn Shaka Khan. You trying to get through the fire like Shaka Khan or Kanye West, right? House on fire, you know, Nelly song. That might be the only time you gotta, you know, you might be blocked by some fire. You know what I'm saying? You either go get through it, or you gotta like figure out a way around. You gotta figure out a route around, a fire extinguisher, that shit. So yeah, fire does block at times, but it's mostly used to burn through reality and shit. So if anything, you're not really gonna be blocked in that situation. You might realize like, damn, you know what? This was actually the best idea for this house to be on fire. I actually paid for house insurance. You know what I'm saying? Now you finna get paid or something. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that's the positive aspect. You know, your whole house got lit up and shit. You know, you barely survived. You know, you lost all your tattoos and shit like that. But yeah, you might have some life insurance on that. You know what I'm saying? Some house insurance on that. You know what I'm saying? You finna collect a check. Yeah, you finna collect a check and it wasn't your fault. You know, it was like some bad business on the block and they just like did some arson. So, yeah, some like tweaker arson. Yeah, some tweaker on the block started a fire at your house. You know what I'm saying? But you had, yeah, no, it wasn't even no tweaker. It was like, I guess it was like a real hot day and you just live in an area where there was nothing but dry ass grass and a fire started in California and lied and said that, a bunch of, fuck it. Yeah, like, your house got burnt down pretty much. So now you got to rebuild and like, wait, how do I build with no goddamn. So that's the time we in right now. Like everything's finished. So you like what material? Like what is you even finna use? We literally in a place where you got to open your mind and create the space of newness, so you could like start traveling, and your mind will where the mind go, the body go. So there's probably all kind of new shit here, and there's new shit every. It's just you gotta be in a certain mentality. You gotta be in a certain state of being and shit. Like you gotta be with God. Like you gotta be working for God, all possibilities, not nobody. And I hate calling it any of these words because fuck the Jew God. They trying to play that role. So fuck them. I'm not talking about them. Shout out to the Jews. I'm not dissing the Jews either. You know what I'm saying? Because teamwork makes the dream work. So without them, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to, even though they a bunch of, they go too far with this shit. It's all a learning experience at the end of the day. So a lot of this shit I wouldn't even be talking about, or I wouldn't have been able to realize or comprehend if they didn't do what they did. So at the end of the day, thank y'all for doing, but it's like y'all been doing this shit for the past hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. There's too many hundreds of years that's been going by where this manipulation is going on. So that's the problem. That's the problem. Not necessarily the building and the constructing and the systematicing of what we're doing. Great. People was finna do that anyway. But the far out like lies and the mass manipulation and 9/11s, like why you need the 9/11 people? You get what I'm saying? Like George Bush and the Hurricane Katrinas and you just Hurricane Katrinas and President Bush just flying over while people are like out there on houses and shit, on the top of houses because they shit just got flooded because the levee broke. And, like let's not talk about smallpox and COVID or bovid. I don't even what. Nah, I'm not even what. Excuse me. No, I didn't say COVID. I don't even what. I didn't say that. Co. I didn't say that. I said bovid. You know what I'm saying? Like bovid. I mean, bovid 91. You know what I'm saying? So we just go act like they wasn't killing niggas. We just go act like they ain't been killing motherfuckers. To me, it should be like every day, bruh. I'm not expecting nothing. Like everybody gonna be where they at and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you kind of just you supposed to be on your 1-2, and however you go about that, and keep it moving, keep it peace, keep it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it peace, keep it moving. You ain't really supposed to get caught up in what everybody else is doing. Shit, that's not for you. That's not for you to make certain like life, mental decisions about like how life should be like that. That's kind of why we in this problem. Because you got a group of niggas run the world that thought like they needed to control everybody at some point. And really, they should have just, they should have did what they did amongst themselves as the Jews and shit, and give people the open space and the open freedom themselves to choose and decide whether they want to be down with they type of, you know what I'm saying, that kind of store, that kind of world, and shit like that. So that's the problem too. Like nobody wants to be like, why y'all trying to force people to go get like vaccines and shots and shit that were like brand new. You get what I'm saying? It was almost like they had this shit already scripted out and prepared. So in the hypothetical sense of there was a, okay, let's just say COVID-19 happened, right? So in that narrative, just believing that, like, okay, say some. First of all, ain't nothing like. Why are we shooting something in the body for in the blood first? Why is that the first go to? Fucking. Why is that the first go to? We're gonna inject you with this needle. First of all, I don't even like needles and shit. That shit remind me of drugs and heroin, and I don't like needles. So why I never like needles in my body. I don't like needles. I don't need that shit. I must have been like a junkie in a past life or something. Cause I'd be like, I don't do drugs. I don't fuck around like that. You know what I'm saying? I smoke weed. That's pretty much it. I might have dabbled with some 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 frosted flakes here and there, but not no like Christopher Columbus, and not no goddamn Shirley Temples, and not no goddamn superhero heroine comic book stories, and not no goddamn like end it all foil. I ain't never did no fentanyl. Hell no, I don't even want to see that shit. Y'all niggas is crazy, bruh. How come y'all ain't trying to like stop fucking fentanyl from being out here? Like, how did that even get out? Like, that's what like people need to talk about, dude. Everybody's like stuck on dumb shit. Who the fuck has the goddamn resources and the who's the only niggas capable of laboratory experiments and shit like that? Bro, the government, bro. Like, and anybody who's working with them, like, they are the mob, bro. They are the mafia. Like, I don't know what world people be in, bro. Everything you think is right and just, and this is not no bias, this is just the facts. These niggas make drugs. These niggas make drugs. They sell drugs. They sell you religion. They sell you scripts, scripts, prescriptions, scripts, narratives, pills, pillars. It's a pillar is a solidified piece of like whatever it is, salt or some type of pillar is like something solid, some solidified material, something that matters. So there's different kind of pillars. They got 5 of them. Shout out to Uriel, shout out those and shit. They got 5 of them. education, entertainment, religion, politics, business. You know what I'm saying? So entertainment just be the main one. Like, but they're all kind of like intertwined. But entertainment be the main one. So people just be entertained. You think you learning some shit in school? No, you just getting entertained. They literally like it's all entertainment. Entertainment meaning what do you do when you what are you doing when you trying to be entertained or entertain some shit? You just like in some type of lightheartedness, child kind of youthful energies. You know, you ain't trying to like take nothing too serious. You get what I'm saying? You entertained. You trying to laugh. Humor might be haha. You entertained or like ooh this is good. Like you captivated. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be put in a state of being docile just because like ooh this is a good movie right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? You might be in a state of slumber. It might rock you to sleep. So and the entertainment, just the concept of entertainment is deep because it's like it's used for a lot of pretty much propaganda and witchcraft. Keep getting saliva on my. It's used for a lot of propaganda and witchcraft and like they whole goddamn how they it's just constructing people's minds and shit going forward and how they've been doing this shit since like they started these practices. So at the end of the day, everybody's just doing certain. We all just doing certain practices, and then they just made a way of capitalizing it and making it like they put they spin on it. Just went stupid way too far, like stupid way too far. Now they got the whole world like fucked up, like pretty much. But not even be out here to like give a fuck about. They don't give a fuck. Like they really don't give a fuck. Cause niggas do. Cause this shit is working every day. People get up, go to work for somebody else, which is cool. Like that's not cool. Like if you're going to work for yourself, you got a creative, godly, spiritual intent behind it, purpose. Whatever it is you do, that's your works. Like that's your you know what I'm saying? Faith with the works. The as above, so below. The as within, so without. What you your ability to internalize some shit and externalize some shit. And then also if you need to externalize and internalize, but you're supposed to, it's not supposed to be you getting lost on some right or wrong spectrum that was somebody else's goddamn they whole theology and they whole goddamn starting points of what they going about as far as right or wrong and how you supposed to act and shit, bruh. Do y'all niggas like think, bruh? I always like going to animals and shit because that's the best example. Because that's what we doing, right? Well, this is also what makes us more inclined to be spiritually. I don't want to say we're not above like shit, but like we. This is what makes humanity, or what we call in the human experience. This is what makes humans more the spiritually evolved being, because we do have the ability to think and communicate, like and rationalize and certain shits with our all and correspond that with our animal natures, our instincts, our intuitions and shit, right? So we're like trying to get out of previous forms of being lost pretty much into the light and information and desires and shit. So that's what creates that kind of a certain type of state of being that we're calling like a lion or wolves, you know what I'm saying? Or tigers. Like these are all different the states. These are all natures and shit. These are literally different organs and shit, different brains, different minds and shit that make up you. And then we're just watching it play out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, the actual physical thing as far as a lion and shit, whether that was like some GMO engineered shit, I'm not gonna go into all that, but I'm just saying they're the basic nature of a lion and a tiger. You could see that like they're not, they don't give a fuck, nigga. You see a lion clocking in at work, nigga, for somebody, you know what I'm saying, for some other like lion's business, so that other lion could like get all the goddamn rewards and shit in the animal kingdom? Or the lion's like, nah, nigga, this is my pride. This is what we rocking with. Lion just being a lion, bro. Lion go hunt goddamn gazelles and zebras and shit. You know, and wolves and shit, they be doing wolf shit. Gonna go hunt. You might catch me out in the woods howling at the moon or some shit on my own tip. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a fucking wolf. I'm not getting up to go try to like make some money and go work at IKEA or some shit. Like, go work at Walmart, like staying around all day. So at this point, you gotta even quit. Like that's why I don't got no views and shit. There's only like everybody that's even thinking like me. We already know this shit. I'm not talking about nothing that you know what I'm saying? Whatever soul group or anybody that thinks like we already know this shit. So it's like people got their own lives and shit. You know what I'm saying? I get that. I'm not expecting anybody to watch this or not. I don't know. I can give a fuck. I'm doing this for God. You know what I'm saying? To expand life and you know what I mean? Get this shit out. Cause we've been so like the world been itself been so limited. So it's almost like God really ain't in this world at all. You know what I mean? All possibilities is not. It's so limited. So I at least be, you know, I got a piece. Not too many people in the world aware of their piece and how to go about it. So I'm at least I gotta utilize my shit. Otherwise, I'd be disrespecting God by not being the you know what I'm saying being the correct instrument vessel. You know what I'm saying that I know that I can be as far as well, how God made you know what I'm saying how God made you like you really can't take credit for shit. Like you are a creator yourself. You created your like, but God gave you that creative ability. Like that's the whole point. God's all possibilities. Like people need to stop calling it a he and a she. And shit. Like I get why they do that because they kind of point more to the masculine, the image. So your mind, the aware. So that's how people get lost in their mind, like thinking they heave or they, you know what I'm saying, thinking they mind this awareness thing, and calling that shit God, and then people be having their own fixated mentalities about certain shit. Desire, you know what I mean? Like how to, you know what I mean? Like so, that's what makes people by default demons and narcs, and everybody got a bias because you can't ever be in somebody else's space. You got your own space that God gave you. Out of the overall teamwork makes the dream work, we all make this overall parameter space that we trying to point to and call it. They try to call it a disembodied brain, but it's like really it's just no thing. It's just some shit that is you know what I'm saying. It's just it. Like I'm not even gonna try to explain it because that's not my. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing there to explain. That's how God works. God works in mysterious ways. Like fuck your words. That's some man-made shit. Literally, people used to talk in like before any words. It was more like It was more primordial energies and shit like grunts, certain expressions and shit. We body language, body movements. You know what that means. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you gonna know what that means with no fucking words. If you know what I'm saying? It's like if you watch animals in the jungle, it might be like you know like if y'all niggas ain't watching enough Animal Planet or something growing up. You ain't watching enough Discovery Channel or something growing up. You didn't like watch enough I don't. You didn't watch life enough. You didn't go to the park enough and like watch squirrels interact or birds or like go see butterflies fly around. Like you didn't see like something about people. They didn't get that growing up, and that's a generational curse. You know what I'm saying? That goes back to the Jews, and people just be accepting that fact. Like, all right, I'm just gonna stay here in my little city and town, and I'm not gonna go travel or no or go experience nowhere. Like it's so backwards because that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? They were so insecure being somewhere amongst they grew. You know what I'm saying? They was like, all right, we need to fucking get away from. We need to go. So they went. I guess that's what anybody would do. At some point, you might get like, all right, I need to go see something different. Like, what else is out there? So that's what they did. They just did it in their own way. Created boats, guns, alchemized metal material, metals and shit, welded, made guns and shit, bolts and all kind of little machinery, mechanics and shit out of the overall just knowing certain aspects of life and the mechanism that is occurring. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they did as a team where it makes the dream work, and it's been they shit. So people just need to stop claiming this shit, and maybe your life would be a little different. This is just some I don't know, bro. Like not everybody even gives a fuck about even thinking like this, so they don't even know where to start. And that's where Gemini's. I was just watching something about Gemini's and shit, where Gemini's kind of like be looking at everybody. It's like this is stereotypical, but it could be like accurate in certain ways. How Gemini's might look at everybody like kind of dumb and shit, which is kind of like even that's kind of even where Sagittarius plays out that energy also in their own way, because Sagittarius is beyond that Jupiter shit. You know what I'm saying? Real Jupiterian, real far out, real expanded, contracted. So like that's what makes Sagittarius as wise because they didn't travel and been the distance, whatever whatever travels. So they could pull. You know what I'm saying? This is about being able to wherever you went. You could pull like you're able to pull more because you got more space. Like literally, think about like space expanding and like if you're in this like little. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might be in this little tiny little world right here. And then imagine somebody that in spiritually traveled and moved around a lot. They might be having so it's like they're gonna be able to utilize more of life. They're gonna be able to have more pool. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to more have more pool and shit. So, but it's also knowing about when you might have outgrown and when you need to put death to whatever it is because you might have like you know what I'm saying you might have like okay you need to expand more, but you can't really you're not able to move forward fluid like or at all because there's still those previous pulls keep kind of pulling you back for the lack of words for so to speak. So it's about it's like a balance thing that we're trying to do. But we know how to create real good, but we terrible at putting like things to death because energy. It's hard to. We just be we just be having a hard time with that as far as this type of human, colorful thought kind of mind that bending in on itself and these kind of organs and desires and this little snake like slither this realm and shit that motherfuckers be in and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's real easy to get lost into this shit because it's real like it's like just real. This is slick. Yeah, it's like slithery and like you think about a snake, they just slide all like they take their time to just slow. It's real slow. It's real low. This is some low shit. Like that's why we got people out here got lotion for they scaly ass snake skin. Cause lotion, you know, lotion, and you had to get into your lotion Aquarius energies just to jump into your spaceship fixated mind, just to even be able to look down at a situation like that. Like damn, that's a whole goddamn snake pit down there. Slime season. That's a whole goddamn snake pit of slime season. A lot of YSL treatment in there. A lot of YSLs in there. There's always some weird nigga. Why do like the most spiritually advanced people on the planet attract a bunch of dopes? It's a dope right here. You ain't lucky I'm even recording this. Stupid. This nigga's just as stupid too, cause he entertaining it. Look at him. He stupid. I just what? He doing his job. So shout out to bro. I'm not knocking him. The whole experience is dumb. This is dumb for everybody. This shit is dumb. This guy's mentally ill. That guy's mentally ill. This guy's mentally ill in some type of capacity, but maybe just not as mentally ill as everybody else. These people are mentally ill. The tree at this point is probably, the air probably sick at this point. They're gonna try to clean the air soon, give niggas air bills and shit, cause they think there's COVID out here. Like y'all just be missing all kind of cues that, but yet people just want to be all right, drive through. And I get it, like I get it, cause we all we doing is eating, sleeping, and fucking, dick and pussy energies and shit, and the blending of those. So it's like everybody's gonna be doing shit regardless. Like you can't stop that. That's God. Like that's the mechanism itself of life. Like you can't stop. We do a birth, life, death. This is the death realm. So we experiencing all the shit that was literally what we created, birthed, gave birth to. Spring, Aries type of shit, Taurus, fixated it in our mind and shit. Gave it, you know what I'm saying? Now we going about the, okay, before I get lost in that segue. Everything that was in your birth stage played out in life, your mind. Now you experiencing the death, the actual shit that came out of your mind, your life. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people ain't even got no life. A lot of people are alive, but then there's majority of people are dead. So it's like all the niggas that be alive that are left, we trying to figure out how to like get around each other and work with each other. But then even then, like there's distance and closeness factors and shit, and everybody just be distracted at the same time and by the so it's like it's fucked. It's really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's real fucked up. You know what I mean? They put like, they got movies of motherfuckers wearing shit like this. Like where's my $1 billion? Fake ass, you know what I'm saying? Fake ass Jews and shit. Running the world trying to be a fake ass God and shit. A fake ass all possible God and shit. That ain't all possible at all. It's so limited. Cause they've been doing the same shit for the past thousands of, 2,000 years, however long. They've been doing the same shit and just remixing the same template over and over and over and over again with a different shape and form. And people keep falling for it. But it's not really people falling for anything. It's like people are just doing what they would have been doing, trying to come up with better ways of eating, sleeping, and fucking, and creating safety, security, and shelter and shit. Just basic, some basic primordial type of shit. This is an animalistic world. It's the death realm. Like this is hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? We doing the same shit every day. You know what I'm saying? And try to make it not so hellistic. So I think that's our goal. Like some spiritual shit. Like how can I create keep creating a new, you know what I mean, or create a new mind that's not so heavy and dense to the point where it can mimic my no thingness, which is just all possibility, no thing, no body. But you can't ever be nobody, so it's like that's the challenge that we all like got lost in somewhere. You know what I mean? It's on some life shit, like you just got lost into your own fixated first awareness about yourself. But we could go create, like you could create, like you know, like you know what I'm saying. You've been all kind of life travels before. Like there's all kind of shit. I could really talk about that and say that this human timeline is like even this what we experience as far as this birth, life, death spectrum of reality. Like this is not all of existence. There's way more other aspects to existence beyond a human comprehension of what y'all even think like life is. Like that's some deep shit, but it's real simple. It's real simple with some deep shit. So it's like you're not the mind though. So give y'all something that maybe I'll give y'all something to think about today or whenever whoever you know what I'm saying. Give you something to think about at some point. You know what I'm saying? You might have got lost, or whatever you got lost into. That's what you comfortable with, and you know whether people agree with that or not. That's not up to you to try to control that and put it on to people and come up with laws and titles and name and you know what I'm saying. This whole like indoctrination of a book, doctor script, like documents and shit. Like what's wrong with y'all niggas? It did not have to be like this. You know what I'm saying? It did not have to be like this. Give Uriel and the Soul Group our credit where it's due for how we goddamn influenced life since the day we touched down in this reality, being pieces of God. You know what I'm saying? Since a lot of people in the world lack godly observation ability, or just godly abilities, period, or charismatic gifts. Your creative ability as a spirit is faith, belief, imagination. So if I can't see faith, some type of faith, belief, or imagination, or well, people are using those three, like that's your creative ability. So just people being here, they doing that, but like a lot of people be giving that energy on a percentage level. They be giving more of it away to the Jews and shit, and how the Jews designed these magic square streets. And this is all shit like in Babylon, bro, in the mind. This is some mental shit first. Like otherwise you wouldn't have been born here already and born into a hospital. Do you get it? Do y'all motherfuckers get like you wouldn't have been born out of your mom and your dad? You know what I'm saying? You would have been born out of your mom's butthole vagina area into that specific wherever you touch down at. If your mind wasn't somewhere first, you would be somewhere else, or you would have been somebody complete. I wasn't born in Africa. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not African. Like, you get what I'm saying? That's a state of being first. That's your spirit got to agree to. And a lot of people be in states of being. Just they ended up traveling there or got pulled there or like maybe accidentally got caught there, got caught up in whatever they was spiritually into, and one thing led to however that played out. Everybody now is like in certain states of being that these states don't even like these streets, these states, these streets, these cities. These be their shit, their family, their Jew, like their lineage and shit. It's like in their favor. It be their shit, their trap houses, their dope houses and shit like that. In the esoteric Babylon, like meaning like the terms and conditions, the terms and agreements. Babylon is just what motherfucking is being agreed upon, as far as terms and conditions and how we finna like interact and get our points across, or interact and exchange points. And so it's like it's a pointing system. So this is everybody. We can all come up like we could come up with a whole new pointing system of how we conduct points and all kinds. You know what I'm saying? And how we even exchange information, because that's all communication is, or conversations is just people having a certain being in whatever space, and then so it's two parties, two. It's just sex. Two spaces just joining and try to create a three. You know what I'm saying? Out of that. So how however that interaction goes is like the, you know, whether you finna quote unquote get along with somebody going forward or not, or like whether y'all are agreeable or not, or disagreeable on a percentage level. So you could be highly agreeable one day with somebody because y'all share a certain kind of alignment configuration. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might both be into food or something. You go, you meet somebody at the restaurant and y'all both like the same kind of dish or the same kind of meal or something. You might, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean like 2 years from that point, y'all food, you know what I'm saying? Y'all both might start liking new different shit. You know what I'm saying? Because life changes. So you might start like, just, y'all might not align like that. You know what I'm saying? And then in that 2 years, if y'all ain't got other shit other than the food, meal, you know what I'm saying? If y'all ain't like doing other shit, y'all probably ain't really cool like that anyway. You know, y'all ain't really cool like that. Y'all don't share a lot of, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we all trying to match. It's like a puzzle, you know, or you trying to match some shit. You know, you trying to match like what's favorable to you. One day it could be, some could be in your favor, then that's what I'm trying to say. Like, then maybe whatever time after that, that shit might not be in your favor no more. You know what I'm saying? Because things are seasonal. Things are always changing. So that's something I'm trying to work on, accepting and agreeing. Like, okay, yeah, like, let me stop overindulging, or you might have a habit or a habit that became a bad habit because you didn't know moderation. You were compromising too much, or whatever the case may be. So now it led to like a bad habit type of, you know what I'm saying, scenario that you got to learn how to not let destroy you, learn moderation, or at least, or transmute it, and pick a new habit, or however you got to go about that. But you might have this bad habit and shit that you developed, that you created. So it's about being accountable and knowing like on what percentage level, how much you added to something or not, and then how to go about correcting that math equation. If you could, yeah, like it's like a formula. You might be, say you got x2, you got x plus 2 equals 7, just for the example, right? You got to figure out what x is, because you got 7 there, and the like it equals to 7. So that's the in the conclusion, the value 7. So whatever x is, the unknown, plus 2 of what you already got. So in this context, if you know how to put 2 and 2 together, you're gonna be like, all right, well, I got 2 here, 7, but I need 7 as the overall complete value to make the situation complete. Okay, so whatever, it's like it's a space and distance thing. Okay, so I need this much space I need to cover this much space to get to 7 if I'm at 2. So do the math. You know what I'm saying? It'd be 5, right? So 5 would be like the other corresponding, you know what I'm saying, energy that you would now need to focus. Okay, now you got to focus your attention more towards closing that, you know what I'm saying, like that gap between 2 and 7, because you need 5 to balance it out. If that makes sense. Like, You get what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? If you got the conclusion, first you had the idea and the problem and the solution. So like 5 would be the solution there. Like you figured out, okay, I need to do this, down the third to get to 7. If I'm at 2 right now, I can't get to 7 with just 2 and X being the unknown. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't just sit around all day like, oh, I wonder what's out there, and then just like keep that 2-ness, and you can't just like stay in your own 2-ness of just relating to yourself. You gotta like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta like have some type of feeling there, a 5 or some type of container or some type of seal that you could like, oh, okay, that's a feeling there that I can at least kind of connect to or add my 2-ness to that. To that. First, how do you even get to 5? How you go from 2, like, so you got to get on 2, you got to go in your 2-3 zone. You know what I'm saying? If 2-ness is relating, then 3 is surrounding, so you got to apply that your 2-ness to the surrounding 3, and then type of whatever type of however that makes you kind of like think and feel, then that's 4. Then that's when you start giving these things in your surrounding 3, you start giving it some type of names and titles and shit. You start, you know, you start creating dimensions and squaring out that 3, that circumference, that 360 and shit. So that's like you squaring out. You know what I'm saying? You giving names and titles and shit and meanings and reasonings of Jupiter, because that's kind of like the Jupiter symbol. It's like a 4. So you applying foreknowledge where you can like, you know, you kind of like pull the arrow back and start, you start. That's like you carving shit out, streets, lines. Yo, 4. You know, it's like 147 is masculine, 258 is the feminine, and 369 is androgynous. Spirit, that spirit, you really just androgynous. You just know things, so you have the ability to express masculine and receive. Well, first it was receive. You got the ability to receive. Well, it's not even really a first or the other. You did both at the same time. You like received and pushed yourself out. But technically, in a certain way, yeah, the first woman was a man, or the first man was a woman. You know what I'm saying? You had to receive, push something out. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. Once you do that 4 and shit, you know what I mean. The fork in the road moments and shit. And then you got 5, and now you got 5. Like, okay, how did it? All right, boom, 5. All right, about to make it. About to seal that. You know what I'm saying? About to seal that together now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 4, 5 create 6 by default. So a 6, what you pay attention to, some type of routine. More that's your broader. That's like your. If we're in a 3D, then the 6D would be this, but more of it. You know what I'm saying? But at a lighter stage, if anything, it'd be like a lighter stage. It would be more about all that good 6 energy and shit. That's kind of like a female, you know, too, the pregnant female, the Virgin Mary. Creating a 4 and a 5, that's like a broader thought and a broader feeling, and then those two come together to create what's finna be kind of almost like some next life shit, you know, because it's on the way to the birth stage 7, 8, 9. So it's like we trying to get to back to 8 and 9 or 9. You know that we trying to get that. It's just so fast there. Like you can't even really hold on to nothing there. That's what the birth stage is. Like the birth is like a death and you know what I'm saying? Like something had to die first. Something had to be released just for what you even calling something to be birthed. So really, like being aware is to be aware of the fact that you were like dead. You know what I'm saying? Like that you didn't even exist. So it's like this shit is some shit. Like a lot of people they can't handle, like, you know what I'm saying? They may not be able to like even have, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't even got the correct corresponding organs and shit. You know, they body would like haywire. They start, yeah, like, all right, well, they start to, yeah, they can't handle it. It's like the information is so vast and so broad. Their body is like not there yet. They're not ready. You know what I'm saying? So and that's how shit is going on in your body and shit. You got all kind of little cells and shit that don't be ready. And that be the shit you gotta go poop out or go take a piss, because those were just, that shit wasn't, it wasn't getting up to these areas to become things coming out your mouth, to, you know what I'm saying, to be birthed into for you to speak it into existence. Otherwise it's gonna stay within and not exist. Because that's really what internal is. That's really what, that's some deep game too. Like really going within and going again is to not really, it's really non-existence to some degree, because that world is like, it's not even really a thing. It's like it's made up of other senses that don't comprise of what your earthly human eyes can perceive. Like you gotta use your other minds and shit, other senses and abilities as far as your spaceship and shit. Cause you got all kind of little chakras and shit, other than just this main headspace one that people give. The you know, in the world of powers that be got people focused in right here. Sun exalted in the first house. People just heads and egos and shit. When you're supposed to give death to your ego, you know what I'm saying? The whole idea of who you think you are and shit. You're supposed to kill that and shit, and then rise up out of the ashes and give birth to a new self. Your actual, be your actual authentic self. You come as you are, not try to hide nothing. You use your vulnerability like a bitch. You use your vulnerability as like, this is, you know what I'm saying? You don't try to hide nothing. You just come as you are. Therefore, it's like you just killed all that shit. Now you actually be yourself. You get like, instead of trying to be in some shit that you trying to use as a false sense of security, which is a damaged, probably a damaged ego. You know what I'm saying? Your ego, like, yeah, you might be somewhere with a damaged wing or something. You try to figure out how to even like take off, and you know what I'm saying? But yet you dying out as an eagle, so you don't want to be in that position with the damaged winged energy. You don't want to be like damaged winged, like knowing you can fly, but like you got injured and now you trying to, like, you know, you trying to like get out of that ego and shit, but it may be too late because now your wing is like kind of fucked up. So it's like you always gotta just give death to that shit, and then rise up out of the ashes. You know, you flame it, burn it, then you can just be reborn as a phoenix. You ain't gotta hide shit at that point. You can really just kind of be like not free, but you'll have a piece of yourself that you know is, all right, this is my piece. And you could kind of, you know what I'm saying? You could not be God, don't be a narc, but you do now. You got more like access, more ability to just tap into your own individual space and how you finna relate some shit to this world, right? And this is how everybody kind of come together and help each other, whether they aware of it or not, on whatever percentage level. We all are participating here and creating this atmosphere, this environment, this kind of cycleage. So like, don't just try not to be selfish. This is just, you know, a general statement to people in the world. Get out of your own selfish natures, because you actually, like, you holding yourself back more than you think. You get what I'm saying? Whether it's a person, a place, or a thing, a friend or family member. That's not saying you gotta be attached and shit to people, but don't be upset like when things are like, when it's time to let things go. You still trying to hold on and cling on to shit. Like, that's not what it's about. Life is always changing. You know, at some point, people were riding horses. At some point, people were goddamn, you know, cooking food with campfire wood and shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's been advancements and shit. So it's not about, like, shit ain't going nowhere. You're not finna lose. You really don't lose nothing. People be using material shit that this world reality kind of Saturn, and you know what I'm saying? That's the delusion too with Saturn. Like, we starting to realize like what's been a delusion in life, where you could see like why have I been making that so important, like food or something, for example. Like, why have I been making that like so important? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I want to travel. Maybe I want to go have kids, like have 10,000 kids somewhere, just for example. Maybe I want to go, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I want to go do that, go jump off that cliff into that river. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Instead, people are focused. Oh, I got this bill to pay. Oh, I gotta go do. I gotta work today, which is cool. Like, if that's what you enjoy, then that's fine. Like, I'm not knocking anything. Like, for real. I'm just more in the perspective of, if we could do it more, not even if, like, when we start doing it more, like where we take our power back and we use it more for in our favor. Yeah, like, it could be way different. Like, it could be, that's how I see. I started laughing and smiling because I can imagine the funness of it. Imagine it's like you go to work, you know what I'm saying, and everybody, everybody at work, like, we all in on it. So when you get to work, it's like, you know what I'm saying, you can put it on the front like you there at work, but like everybody like in agreement with each other, like we ain't like putting too much. You know, like, it'd be different all the way up to the seat, like the corporate niggas and shit. They'd be in on, I don't know. See, they might be with the Jews, but I'm just making a point. Like, everybody would be in on it. Like, all right, well, shit, nigga. Say you all go to work and shit one day, and then motherfucking, like, they talked about laying off people or something, right? Like, oh, we finna lay off some people. Like, all y'all would just like say nobody showed up. You get what I'm saying? Like, say nobody showed up. Or if they did show up, everybody was like, no, we ain't working today until our wages get increased, if anything, before you start laying anybody off. I don't, to me, the whole shit is just retarded. Cause we go, like, I didn't, like, whether you go in the store and grab some shit or you pay for it with the indoctrinated, agreed upon dollar bill. In God we trust, magic, square, witchcraft, golem thing. So that's just they shit, claiming a part of it. Like, they just trying to, there's a mechanism going on. Period. Barter, exchange, the interaction of giving and receiving. So people are gonna give and receive regardless. People would have been giving and receiving regardless. Like, oh, oh, you're hungry? Here, I got extra fucking yams. You know what I'm saying? And then I give you the yams. Shit, you're not even really expecting nothing. You just trying to be you just genuinely know you got extra yams. You know what I'm saying? Or you might be like, all right, well, I can't just give you all these yams. Like, I still put effort into making these yams myself. Like, I grew these yams, or however I got the yams. I still kind of want something in return for the yams. I don't want to, like, just depending on, your situation. Right? If you got an abundance of yams, shit, you might be like, hey, bro, it's a yam sale. Or, yeah, we got fire yams. Or you might have all the yams and shit. You know what I'm saying? You might just be giving away yams at that point, right? You might just be giving away yam sandwiches and shit. You got so many yams. You know what I'm saying? You ain't. And then in return, nigga, you get everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whoever you was giving yams to, shit, you might give somebody some yams and shit. They got milk. So now the milk nigga giving you milk. Like, making sure you cool, because you and the milk nigga got a cool relationship now, because you know what I'm saying? Y'all exchange yams and y'all get milk. It should be that. It should have been that simple. Now we got a middleman, Target,
Walmart. God, yeah. Oh shit, was I hit the? Now you gotta, yeah, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? You got Jesus take the. You got all these niggas in just to make sure you get some goddamn some yeast bread. Now you're not even getting like no milk no more like that. You getting yeast, some yeast bread or something. No, now if you want milk, you gotta go into the store and use the middleman, George Washington, Ben Franklin. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta use one of those guys, one of the Wigger bills. You gotta use one of the Wigger bills. You gotta use a Wigger bill. You gotta use one of them wig bills. You know what I'm saying? They only accept payments from fags. Oh, excuse me. I mean, they only expect payments from drags. Oh, excuse me. They only accept payments in cash. When I said fag, I was talking about cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? That's not LG. I'm not. You know, hey, don't cancel me. Cancel culture. I was talking about how people like they like to. You know, they only accept payments in cigarettes. Burnt. You know, burnt. You know what I'm saying? Burnt material and shit. That's kind of what money is. You know what I'm saying? It's burnt out material. It's burnt. You know, and they had to like. You know what I'm saying? Put all that little symbols and shit on there. That's burnt. That's, you know what I'm saying. That's not like, I guess it's ink. Like, what is ink? That shit was burnt probably. They had to heat that shit. Something that got heated up and got burnt for you to have a dollar bill. Whether it was the paper, you know, that shit was alchemized and burnt. Yeah, it was burnt into. You know, now it's like burnt into people's. You know what I'm saying? It might be burnt into your. Yeah, off of just the energy. Like now, really, why I got that back there, because it's lines and curves, right? So they capitalized off of that. They know that that's a mechanism, lines and curves, logic, thoughts and feelings. The light going straight and then bending in on itself and catching what was, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they know that this is just a natural thing, and then they came up with a little symbology about it and they little starting points. They witchcraft and they logos. They, you know what I'm saying? They creed, their credit, their credence, their credits. Their ending movie credit. So it's about just playing the game, I guess, at this point, and you want to make sure you got good credit at the end of the movie when the movie's over, because they directing that shit, and they're not giving up the director's chair, I guess, anytime soon. That's a hard one to change. You know what I'm saying? When they've been like, it's already, the movie's already in play, so it's like you can't like just you can't just be an actor in the movie right in the middle of the movie and then try to do like a Truman Show like Jim Carrey. Like, hold on now, like I'm aware that I'm in a movie now. Y'all are fake. Let me go to the try to find the back door stage. They don't like that. They're not. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to go backstage and see them back there engineering shit. With like the little dude in the movie, like how he's on the little microphone and shit, and watching TV. They got all like TV, yeah, big ass plasma TVs and shit, plasma bank TVs and shit. Like, yeah, just stop it. Stop. They don't got, you know what I'm saying? They don't like you can't just be an actor in the movie called Life that we call like Death Realm. But you can't be the actor in Life, the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension movie, which is moving faster than this realm. So this is what we just playing out a version of that. So you can't just be in the middle of the movie, be like, cut, cut, cut. The director's like, no, 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 keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you like not even a main character in a movie like that. You might be an extra or something, or they might just like have you outcasted. You might not even be in the movie like that. They got you like outcasted off to the side, like you there at the production, like people know you produce, like you a produce, like you might be highly prestige. You know what I'm saying? Your prestige producing skills might outmatch everybody there and the director. But people were like, nah. But you know, the director's been in the director's chair for about 2,000 years, so we gotta kind of go with the director. Even if everybody agree, like this shit is retarded, like this director sucks. But you know, director's been doing it for about 2,000 years now. They just for some reason we just gonna let them keep doing it. It's weird. Like why are we letting these niggas like run us? When we're out here every day, these niggas don't even run the world like that. They're not even outside like that with no actual charismatic energy, no real like they don't talk, bruh. They're out. They're not out here like that. And then they try to make everybody else. Not even trying. They making everybody else wear around the clothing, the cloth, the mental like the you know what I'm saying the fashion material, the shit that matters to your mind. So that's like with how your image like yo you know what I'm saying. So everybody wearing a false image that don't even belong to them, that was given to them by these Jews, and the Jew that image, they for sure got a fraudulent ass image. They don't even know the fuck who they are, but they do know who the fuck they are. They was cursed. They was cursed, so that's why they in the position they in, away from God. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I look at it. This shit made so much sense to me in the past few months. Shit just started clicking. This shit always made sense, but I just started remembering what I already knew since I was a kid and stuff. Like you don't forget none of this shit when you really spiritually inclined. Like you might get like a spiritual amnesia. You might get slightly rocked to sleep here and there, but you never really get rocked to sleep. You be like they be trying to rock you to sleep, but you never like fully get the you never get the like $1 Million Baby song, how they doing this little rock to sleep dance motion. Like you never get the full like LeBron James cradle rock to sleep dunk. Like you never get fully rocked to sleep. Yeah, they might try to cradle it and they like the ball slip. Like you just slip out of their arms or something and you like, free at last, bitch. You thought you was gonna jam me. You thought you was gonna like slam dunk me and rock me to sleep, cradle rock me to sleep. Nah, motherfucker. Slick. Yeah, I'm slick. Yeah, you can't hold on to me, bitch. You can't hold on to God. You can't hold on to God. So yeah, it's more expanding upon thought, you know what I'm saying? It's the opposition. It's a harmonious opposition at least with Jupiter and Gemini. Like it's kind of more of one of the more harmonious oppositions. But then these other little, I'm not gonna go back into that. But that's pretty much what's going on. They can never rock any when you really inclined enough. Your actual space, like you ain't finna ever get rocked to sleep ever. They might try. You know what I'm saying? They might like try to like rock you to sleep, but like if anything, they just like knock off. You know what I'm saying? Even when they never hit in the spirit realm. They might try to hit you physically, or hurt you physically, or get at you physically, or put you in handcuffs physically, and then not take you to jail physically, or whatever you know what I'm saying? But when you know you ain't going nowhere, nobody even really finna try you like that, because you ain't like nobody, like you just got this energy that you know you ain't going nowhere. You like, all right, go ahead, like cool, but you're not really like, you think you got over on me, but you ain't finna kill me though. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get your ass at some point, just for even thinking you finna play me like that, or just even thinking you finna like get away with some shit, because you ain't going nowhere, and I will come after you. You know what I'm saying? Like I will hunt you down in life. Like you will get. That's why I'm here. And other motherfuckers like me. That's why you was here. Cause there's these niggas in the world playing fucking God, and that's like the highest crime really in this death realm any of these humans could commit. Like, fuck any actual crime people are going to jail for. That's all man. That's their shit, man-made. They created, like, they put themselves in the ultimate jail just by trying to just trying to put other people in jail. You're not God. You're not God. Like, I'm trying to be not upset right now. Like, you're not God. Jews, Jesuits, Masons, like y'all niggas behind the scenes that gonna see this video, or whoever the fuck, YouTube nigga, y'all niggas is not God. You're not God. You really need to like stop. You really need to stop trying to play God on people that is too intelligent. We out here every day. We interact with each other and make sure we don't crash and you know what I'm saying, and spark and pop off and all kind of shit. Some people just do a little bit better than others to keep their cool and shit. But we out here every day though, making sure that the world don't just collapse into just complete disarray and chaos. It'll never happen. It'll never be that, because nobody's on the same time like that. Everybody got their own different time and schedule and position. So you ain't never just gonna have a full out, just everybody just say fuck it. You ain't never gonna have that. You ain't never just gonna have everybody just sit their ass down and be like, all right, fuck it, I'm not going to work today. You're not, as much as I like to idealize that in my mind, like, that's never gonna be a thing. Like, there's always gonna be some type of people have to keep going, or it's this concept of, yeah, like, giving it, like, there's a time where things stop, and then when something stops, something else is going, and then when that thing that you thought was going, that's an illusion, because maybe that thing was actually stopped, and then all that. So it's like, there really ain't no stopping or going, because you just here. So it's not until we as people can get out of that whole, yeah, like, thinking you going somewhere. You gotta pick one. You either here, you was already here, or you not. You going somewhere. That's the conundrum in spirits, like, because you ain't going nowhere, but you can't be too fixated. Your mind can't be too fixated too long. Your spirit is always wanting and desiring some type of change and movement. So that's literally how you got here. Like, you wouldn't be who you are if you didn't move around in a bunch of different aspects and travels just to have a fucking 5 fingers to your hand that make a hand. Like, you wouldn't have a hand if you didn't do the shit that that niggas is saying. Shout out to Dolo the Pilot, man. Uriel, we're on, man. In the soul group, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like a brain. It ain't just Dolo by himself. Like, it took Uriel's it's always you, but it was like a bunch of yous that make up you. A bunch of yous that agree and kind of think the same and similar in a certain space. You know what I'm saying? Different than maybe over here, like, this is a different pattern. And then you got over here that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like a certain, so this is like what we're all doing, and then you just, wherever you kind of agree more on a percentage level to whatever area and shit, that was your own individual spark of awareness there first in that zone. So we all doing like zones and shit. This is where you even got, like, you know what I mean, the like hoods, and like, this is why we've got concepts like that, where people are like attracted to gangs and being in certain formations in a large gathering, or a large body, or an ocean, you know what I'm saying, or a grouping, or a mass church, you know, a mass church is just a gathering. Go look up the definition. A church just means a gathering. So this is just shit people are doing, period. Or this is just some shit spirit space does. Space cannot be unfulfilled. Like, it cannot be empty. It has to be filled with something. For, you know what I'm saying? Like, it only could be maybe
it can't be empty. Like it's hard. Like space can't be naked. Like you can't be God, so you only could be naked for however long. So I think that's really what we're here doing. We're trying to figure out a mind that's lighter. We're trying to create more of like a way of being vulnerable, being naked, but still having our own individual mind, our own individuality, without just you know what I'm saying? Because you gonna exist. You here now. Like you can't go back to not. You can't non-exist. It's like you never even really did. That whole concept of like existence, non-exist, it ain't shit. So it's like it's not even. This is some shit beyond your goddamn human comprehension. So therefore, the more people could get out of what they fucking think they know, they could be more open to what actual like the influences that actually come from God, that overall parameter space beyond your human. You know what I'm saying? This is where like your actual power be at, not some like your mind is this the tool, the like the facilitator. How you gonna like you know what I'm saying? The mind is just, it's almost like a bottle. You know what I'm saying? The mind is almost like this jug. So it's like you got all these different like minds and shit within an overall mind. But that's your space is just no thing. So this is kind of like where people get lost in. That's where people get lost in like infinite regress, where they because shit just is gonna go on. Like so people think they are the mind and that they finna just live forever. When really that's like lostness because you never then you're constantly dying and adding on to some shit that you got lost in, thinking that it's you, but you're not that shit, right? So you got lost. That's somebody getting lost into this experience, forgetting that they even came out of a vagina and everything from somewhere else, like forgetting the whole starting point, and then thinking whatever like experience that they just jumped into as a spirit, because you could have been a bug, you could have been an animal, like whatever the fuck. So that's like that spirit jumping into experiences, clinging so much to the experience that they think they are the experience every time. To the point they die, they keep dying like that. And then they just keep adding on more, like they keep adding on more lostness to what they already lost into. You get it? So they never really fully ever even experience like going back home or going back to God or getting in touch with their own peace. They always they would that's a spirit that's always gonna be disturbed and always in a state of being trying to go out themselves to fulfill themselves in some type of way. Without like being aware of it though. They just gonna be keep going thinking that they need something else. They need this, they need that, they gotta have this, they gotta have that. They ain't never gonna be able to spark their own their own burst of inspiration from within thyself. They always stay lost. They think they are the body, like they think they are the mind, but the body is the heavier, dense conversion of the mind, compressed version, with all the organs and blood tissues and all the shit. But it's like really, that's all the shit. Whatever your body's made up is your thoughts and feelings, just bend it in on themselves. So that's down to the that's why people be having certain conditions when they're born. Cause the Jews know this shit and they've been fucking niggas blood up and shit for like generations now. You know what I'm saying? So all your body part, like really at this point, your body belongs to them. You don't even really own your body. It's really their body. So this is where the expression comes from, where you could trap my body, but you can't trap my mind. You know what I'm saying? So peep game. But this at the end of the day, this is still your body though. But the type of body you have is this realm. They engineered it in such a way, and now they're playing God like in this little piece of this death realm. It's weird. This is a death realm. It's not even. And the whole concept of going like the Milky, like galaxies and outer space, like all that shit is void. Really, it's really void. You could really just like chalk it up like that shit is not even the correct idea of how to look at it. There's cycles in it, like there's shit going on, but it's not like you finna float into fucking space like goddamn Mewtwo or some shit. You know, like that. There's nothing out there. Like there's literally that's like trying to go to the bottom of the ocean without none of the proper gear and shit, right? So the spacesuit or the, you know what I'm saying, the vehicle, pretty much the spaceship, you know what I'm saying? Your body's a spaceship, so if your body can't travel to those depths, you gonna get outweighed by all the influence that's on top of you. If you try to go to those depths, there's gonna be weight on top of you that you gotta uphold to even be able to sustain life in that kind of at that density in that range of the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Like a cloud, we see a cloud and call it a cloud, but it plays out like that because it's in that range, like it's in that phase. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in that life, that timeline. So cloud ain't gonna be like, clouds don't play out like trees. You get it? But they do though. Just as a cloud, like it's a fixated air. Trees fixated earth. Taurus, you know what I'm saying? So a cloud would be like Aquarius, some type of Aquarius concept. And a tree would be like some type of fixed earth concept that they calling, and that's whole trapping too. So we can all really come up with our own names and shit. You can come up with your whole astrology. How I just did right there. Like the cloud is some fixed air. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing that, just the energy of that time of the season, it's fixated air, wintertime, cold, like. So it's like, I'm not gonna go into all that, but you get what I'm saying. If you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. Shout out to you. All right, I'm pretty much cutting this off because I done did too much talking. It's already 2:22. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, whoever just jumped in. I'm finna end this shit. I've been getting my talkative energies out and shit with all this goddamn airheaded shit. Yeah, I'm out here. Real shit though. It's all some real shit. You know what I mean? Don't sleep on none of. Don't sleep on the powers like don't sleep on your own ability. But not everybody got that. It's something you gotta like develop. It's God given. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be in this. You gotta kind of put yourself in that original space that you was in as a spirit to even start coming up with. To even just be open enough to pull in certain thoughts and feelings that resonate with that freeness, that openness, that just, you know what I'm saying? You just being. So a lot of people don't even know how to just be because who they even think they are being, who they being is already in the context of some other men and women running the world. And how they want people how they want people to be. Literally, like in your mind, they want you to be like that so that they can stay in their. They did some real magic witchcraft on people's minds, like on a deep subconscious level. Like the world needs to be aware of that. Like they doing some real evil shit every day. It's real evil. Like it was at one point one thing to set it up. Like I said, if that's what y'all rock with, cool. At least give people the freedom and the option and the ability to make up their own mind or not. No, at some point now we have indoctrination. You got a cultivating. This has been cultivated. So like a farm, like if you were to have a bunch of plants and shit that you're growing, that's how they treating the world. Like they grew a bunch of weed plants in a garage and you just another clone. Like you just another plant to them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you, and they'll do whatever, create whatever type of energies and shit with the environment. But then they also know the overall their garage environment climate that they're trying to create. You know what I'm saying? So that they create the correct kind of buds and the correct kind of tree weed. You know what I'm saying? The correct kind of that's gonna grow effectively in their favor as far as what they, you know what I'm saying? They kind of starting points and shit as far as what kind of marijuana plant they want you to be, or what kind of bud, you know what I'm saying? Or kind of plant, whatever plant. You might be a rose plant. You might be a goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Some goddamn whatever kind of plant. You might be a soybean, some type of soy plant. Some stupid, you know, whatever. But I'm just making a generalized point. They growing people. They got people cultivated already in a template. So it's like they're not even in the garage necessarily. They got niggas working the garage for them. So whatever like group plants that like, you know what I'm saying, come up out of that batch, then they like keep reproducing that. So it's like at some point they taught the clones, like if you go watch Star Wars, nigga, Palpatine, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, Emperor, nigga, and them and shit. They, bruh, if you go watch Star Wars, bruh, they created, like, dude created the clones with the, with them tall ass long neck motherfuckers, right? I forgot the name of the place. It start with an H or something. They created the clones, and they used what was it, Boba Fett, whoever the dad was, I forgot, Django or Boba Fett, whatever. They used they use his DNA and shit. So they use his intellectual property, or they use his face, his character. I'm just making a point, like they use characters, thoughts, and feelings, and then they went about the mutation. They went about that process of reduplicating that environment. You know what I'm saying? So what did you see in the movie? They had a whole little habitat set up where all the kids was getting educated a certain way. They was doing certain training. You get what I'm saying? They had a certain like cafeteria. It was a whole world and shit that was fabricated and lab experimentated, and rooms and shit and different chambers and shit that was manipulated and created for these clones, right? So the clone don't know nothing else other than being a clone already. You get it? Like they mind is already like they don't even like that's how you even go like is that even a real person? Are you even a real like actual space in life, or are you just like some body that was engineered and now you got like you just charged by somebody else's charge in the world? They electricities and they juices and they juices and they Minute Maids and god damn it, you know what I'm saying? God damn it. Fuck these niggas, man. I hate this world with a passion. Now, you know what I'm saying? You gotta question people, bro. People are like, they dead. This is a death realm for a reason. This is a death realm for a reason. I'm scared. Like every day I come outside, bro. I'm like, God, I'm like partially like, I sleep outside now. I'm like, I don't even got no box walls and shit that y'all niggas got. Now, thankfully, this is the, you know what I'm saying? This was acquired, but whoo! Some of y'all ain't ready for that. A lot of people in the world are not ready for homelessness, and they are not ready to lose their shelter. But guess what? God might take your ass and put your ass homeless. You might be in a shelter like the goddamn little college motherfucker that just graduated valedictorian of his class. You know what I'm saying? I don't know his starting point. I don't know if he was homeless his whole life, but yeah. Sounds like they trying to push a narrative, right? I don't do it. That's what they trying to figure out too. They don't even know if they want niggas in the house or not. You get what I'm saying? They don't even know if they want you in their house or not. They're like, man, should we just like keep them in the houses, or like that's what they're trying to do, but nobody could do that ever. Like they somewhere chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like in the house. Probably copying Dolo and shit now. But they can't, like, you can't put everybody else and just keep them in the house all day. That's not a, you can't just sit no spirit like that's the thing, bro. How you gonna tell some other spirit what to do? Period. Like just period. How you gonna tell anybody else what to do? Everybody got their own individual who the fuck they are. Now I get it, it's kind of like a who's more the adult spirit kind of energy. You get what I'm saying? So and what on whatever percentage levels, because everybody like you, somebody's more the adult spirit in probably the area of like letting guns off than me or something, right? Just for an example, I might not be so experienced at shooting niggas. Just for an example, right? So somebody else that's already been in that world shooting niggas and getting shot at, etc. They already developed, like they already got a certain type of. If y'all niggas like y'all niggas, y'all know what I'm talking about, bro. If you played video games and shit growing up, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Like role playing games, like I wasn't even into World of Warcraft like that, but I was always into like certain shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Where you got different characteristics, you got different roles, you got different like one nigga was an archer, one nigga was the warrior brute nigga, one nigga was like a magic nigga, the wizard, like the mage or something. You had healers, you had goddamn you name it. You know what I'm saying? You had fucking thief roles. You had goddamn you had fucking the nigga that just like is gonna make all the weapons and shit, like some you know weaponsmith dude expert or whatever, the weapons expert. Then you had you had all these different like you go play y'all niggas play Call of Duty to this day, bruh. Doing the same shit. Why can't y'all Call of Duty your own fucking life before you let somebody else Call of Duty you? And half of y'all niggas don't even know what to do with an AR-15. In real life, like you would not pick half of the world wouldn't pick up no AR-15. Majority of the world is not ready to pull, and I don't see that going on. Do you see niggas just out here every day like GTA civilians cheat code? All civilians got weapons. It should be like that. It's finna start being like that. But I'm just saying, like we in a time period where the old animalistic ways are still there and are outdated, but they still kind of like there's certain shit that's fixated like that is gonna happen. Like you gonna take a shit at some point. Like you get what I'm saying? Just due to like the functioning, like that's a fixated kind of part of the routine, Virgo. You know what I'm saying? Some mutable earth shit where at some point through your bowels and your bowel movements and the way the system works, you gonna have to take a shit. Meaning you gonna have to release at some point. However you release is how you release. Whether it comes out your ass or your mouth. Now, you know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas be talking shit out the side of their neck. Now you got that's somebody with a shit Uzi neck. Little Uzi neck. So don't be talking like shit out the side. Don't just be spewing out shit out of your neck before you like go take a shit in the actual toilet. You know what I'm saying? So, unless you got some good shit to say, then we might want to hear that shit. But if it's bullshit, we don't want to hear bullshit. So that's it, That's all I'm gonna say. I gotta go take that.